Okay, so this is the video on our Unit 10 Day 1 notes, and at this point you should have already watched the video and copied down the part in the foldable. The foldable is really where all of our notes are going, and this page is really just some practice problems so you see how the note foldable works. Remember that on the foldable, you're going to get to use your foldable on the quizzes and the test, so you want to make sure you have this written down. You don't get to use the notes, just the foldable. You also want to be sure you bring your foldable to class so you won't get to use it. So, we made these little tabs on the front part here to help you figure out which page you need to turn to for each problem. If you look at this first one, you'll notice that this is an isosceles right triangle. And so, the way this works is if you know. Well, do I know two sides to do Pythagorean theorem? No, I only know one side, so I don't know this. Is this a Pythagorean triple? Nope. Is it a 45-45? Yes, it is. If these two sides are equal, that means these angles are equal, and it has to be 45-45. So we're going to use this page right here, and I'm going to do these steps. Label the formula. Well, he conveniently already put f and f on these, so this one is f square roots of 2. Find f. Well, I look right here. F has to equal 2. So then I fill in the missing sides. This one's 2, and this one's 2. That's it. The next one. Here's the problem. I know two sides and I want a side, so I could use Pythagorean theorem for it. Or I could also notice that this is a Pythagorean triple. Open up to your Pythagorean triples. Here it is. This one is a 3, 4. It looks just like this one. That other side has to be 5. You could also use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and it would work just fine. Now on this one, this is actually currently a square, but everything in this unit is a right triangle. So you have to find the right triangle here. Here it is. So now, just looking at the yellow right triangle, we see that that's a 45-45, so we're going to work it the same way. So these sides are, label the formulas, f square roots of 2. Find f, well it's right here, it has to be f equals 12. So these other sides are 12. Alright, the next one. I could use Pythagorean theorem, because I know two sides and I want a side, or I could notice that this is a Pythagorean triple. I open my book up and I'm like, oh, 7 and 24, that's just like this one, 7 and 24, so that other side has to be 25. The next problem, well, it says it's a 45 here, so this is a 45-45, 90. Open up your book, label the sides, f square roots of 2. Now notice here that we have the square root of 2 equals f square roots of 2. What number is here? Well, just think about it like if I had 2x, that's 2 times x. 3x is 3 times x. So if I just have x, that's 1 times x. Remember, it's a 1 right there. It's the same thing right here. This is a 1, so f equals 1. So this side here is 1, and this side here is 1. Now this one should have a 60 right there. And again, the big triangle is not a right triangle, but if I just look at half of it, it's a right triangle. And if this is a 60, this is a 30, 60, 90. So I need to label my parts. This is h, 2h, and h square roots of 3. Find h, it's right here. H equals 10. So this side down here is 10. And if this is 10, then x is also 10. And this side here is 10 times 2 is 20, so this side is 20. Alright, the next one. This is a 45-45, and this one confused some people because it got turned around. Remember, this side is the hypotenuse. This side right here is the hypotenuse, even if we've twisted the triangle around, and the other two legs are always equal to each other. So the legs are f, and the hypotenuse is f square roots of 2. So then I just find f, it's right there, f is 8, so this side is 8, and this side is 8 square roots of 2. Okay, the next one is also a rectangle. So I'm going to look at just the part that's the right triangle right here. If it's a rectangle and the top is 12, I know the bottom's 12. So how can I find this side? I could use Pythagorean theorem, or if I check my Pythagorean triples, I'll notice that this one happens to be this triple right here. The hypotenuse is 15, this side is 12, that means the other side is 9. The next one. Now this one you have to look carefully to see what it is. And we've got two triangles here. This one on this side is a 45-45, so I'm going to start with that. I label my parts. So right here I have F square roots of 2. Find F. Well, F is 7. So this side is 7, and this side is 7. Now I'm going to look at the part on the other side. Here's my other one. That's a 30, 60, 90. So I'm going to use that page of my book, and I'm going to label those parts. H, 2H, 8 square roots of 3. Well, if I knew this side was 7, it's still 7 when I do the H. So H is 7. So this side is 14, and this side is 7 square roots of 3. Okay, on this one, it should have little marks like that. Again, I need to just look at the right triangle here. So I'm just looking at this part. If this whole thing is 8, then this half is 4. And then if I just look at this triangle here, I could use Pythagorean theorem, or I could see that that's a Pythagorean triple, 3, 4, 5. So x is 5. The next one, it's a rectangle again. So again, just look at the part that is this triangle right there. This is a 30, 60, 90. So look at your 30, 60, 90 page. Label the formula. So my formulas are this right here. Notice the side next to the 60, that's the H. The hypotenuse is the 2H, and this side is the H square roots of 3. So H is 4. So this side is 4, and this side is 8. And finally, this last one here is a trapezoid, but you can draw a right triangle in there by just drawing a line here. And I'm just going to look at the right triangle part of this, and I have to use a little bit about what I know about rectangles and triangles. If this is 6 here, then this has to be 6. And if this at the top is 3, this part here at the bottom, this part right here has to be 3. So if this is 3 and that's 10, this part of the yellow one has to be 7. So now I can use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. 6 squared plus 7 squared equals x squared. That's 85. Take the square root, and we get x is 9.22.